Hey, this is Darren from Property Prosperity. Today I thought I'd have a bit of a chat to you about a problem that I'm quite often getting people talking to me about. Obviously, I've been helping people, well, I've been doing my own developments, so helping other people do developments for probably about 15 years now. So I've been involved in hundreds of developments and really thousands of property transactions. And although I can sort of help people with particular things associated with doing a development, whether it means managing the subdivision or finding the builder or helping them sell the property at the end or even analysing the project up front. One of the things that people have always had issues with is trying to find a development which is going to be profitable. When I initially started out, I used to say to people, hey, you just go off and find a deal and bring it back to me and I'll have a look at it and I'll tell you everything you need to know about it and what you can do and all the good things and all the bad things and just hold your hand through the whole process. That's pretty much where it ended. A lot of people went off, they had a look around, they never could seem to find a profitable opportunity, or they brought it to me and I'm like, hey, that's not really going to work. You need to go out and have another look and see if you can find something a bit better. After many, many years of this, what I've decided to do is create up my own Facebook group called Adelaide Development Sites, where I can actually go out and source development sites for people and then really just save them the hassle of trying to find a development site. And so the way I've decided to structure it is because I know from my experience that people don't necessarily have a lot of confidence when they're doing a development, or particularly because it is a lot of money when you're doing development. So obviously you've got to purchase the property and then you have to pay stamp duty and then you've got to knock the house down and then you've got to subdivide the property and you've got to build the house and you've got to sell it off. And it's just all these uncertainties, all these things you're not sure about. So what I've decided to do is, because I can do pretty much the whole process now, I can source the development site, analyze the project, manage the subdivision, then source the builder, then build the houses, then obviously sell them off at the end. I can pretty much do everything for you. So what I've got to the point now where I can actually analyze the project in so much detail that I can basically cover everything. So there's going to be no surprises along the development during the development process. And so I've got like a 200-page report that I prepare on each of the properties I analyze, just to make sure we've covered everything. There's not going to be any little issues that are going to pop up along the way that are going to cause us hassles down the track and obviously affect profitability. So I've actually, what I thought I'd do is just point out one that I had the opportunity to pop up today from referred to me by a real estate agent. And so the only thing about development sites, and really good profitable development sites, they're not available for long. And this is the thing that a lot of people don't necessarily understand. You've got to be ready to take advantage of opportunities when they come up. And so that's one of the major problems I find when I'm talking to people. They're just not ready to take advantage of an opportunity and really you have to have your finances all sorted. You have to understand exactly, the process involved, what you need to do, all the things you need to be clear about. So that when an opportunity pops up, you're ready to take advantage of it straight away. It's almost like if a deal comes up, you've got to get in your car and go and sign the contract, within the next hour. Otherwise, you might miss that opportunity. So that's why I have to put a lot of effort in up front. Hey, Damien, thanks for joining. And I have to put a lot of effort in up front just to make sure we got all the information. Obviously, if you like what I have to say, then click on the like button. And if you know someone maybe thinking about doing a development, then maybe share this out and they might find it useful, particularly if they're just starting out and they're a little bit worried about firstly trying to find a profitable development site or maybe just making some mistakes along the way. So, I appreciate sharing it out. And likewise, I'd love to get your feedback and hear what you have to say. So as I was saying, so what I've done is I've gone and sourced development site. An opportunity came up today. It's basically, it's around about $500,000 to purchase the development site. It's quite a large block, so there's the opportunity to subdivide it into 4 blocks. And so the way we're going to subdivide it, though, we will actually have to build the 4 houses. We don't have the opportunity to subdivide it and sell the land off, although that would be a good option. It's just not viable in this particular case due to council requirements. And so what we need to do is we need to buy the site for about $500,000. We're going to have to pay stamp duty. We're going to have demolition costs. We've got subdivision costs of subdividing into 4 blocks of land. We're going to have to build 4 houses. We're going to have to sell those 4 houses off at the end. So based on that, if we're assuming we're going to borrow about 80%, which is generally, that's what the maximum the banks want to lend you. Any more than that, they consider it risky. Fortunately, around that 3 to 4 houses, we can probably still do it under residential finance, depending on the lenders. Obviously, if you're not so sure about how the finance works, you're welcome to give me a call and have a chat and talk you through the process of finance. But finance is really important because when you're doing a development, at the end of the day, you make your money at the end. So you've got to make sure you can get to the end. So if you run out of money halfway through, then it's going to be a nightmare, to be honest. You're going to get stuck and then you get desperate to sell it. Then you basically just want to sell it at any price, and then a developer like me, he comes and buys it crazy cheap. I do that last little thing, I finish it all off, and I make all the profit. So really what you want to do, thanks for the like, what you want to do is make sure you got your finance sorted up front. So this particular deal, to be able to buy this property at $500,000, knock the house down, subdivide, build 4 houses, sell it off, you're going to need around about $230,000 worth of cash. So it doesn't necessarily have to be cash. It can be equity in your existing property. So what do I mean by equity? Well, that means, let's say you've got the median house price in Adelaide is around $400,000. I know if you're from Sydney, you're thinking that's crazy cheap, but that's pretty much where the median house price is in Adelaide. So if you own your house freehold, and you go to the bank and you say, I want to refinance my property, they'll let you refinance up to about 80% of the value of the property. So that means you can refinance out about $300,000. You can pull out of the property and use that in another investment. And so that's the money you're going to use to invest in the development side up front. So when I'm talking about $230,000 to invest in the project, that includes the 20% that goes towards the purchase, plus your stamp duty, plus the demolition costs, plus the subdivision costs. Hey Ross, thanks for joining. And so really you've got to cover all of those costs before the land can be subdivided. And once the land's subdivided, then you've got the opportunity then to refinance that land. The land will obviously, when you go from 1 block into 4 blocks, it's going to be worth a lot more money. And so when that happens, you can go back to the bank, refinance that increase in the value of the land and pull out 80% of that increase in value. You can then use that 80% of increase in value to go towards the build costs, because you're going to have the same situation when you go to build the house. You need to kick in 20% of the value of the build because the bank's going to lend you 80% of the value of the build. So hopefully this makes sense to everybody. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't really matter. Give me a call, or I can send you through a breakdown of all the numbers so I can make it a lot clearer for you. So just put a message in the comment box, or comment in the comment box, or send me a message. I'm happy to send you some more information. So essentially, if you understand that logic, so basically we're putting in, we need to put in $232,000 to be able to subdivide the land. The increase in the value of the land goes towards the build, so we don't have to put any more money in after that. We build the 4 houses, we sell the properties off, and in this particular case, you put in $230,000 up front, you get $260,000 profit in about 18 months. It takes about 18 months for the whole project to happen, because we're going to buy the development site, we're going to knock the house down, we're going to wait for the subdivision to go through, we have to build 4 houses on top of that, and that's around about 18 months for the whole project to happen from start until finish. Once we get the houses built, I'm allowing for about 3 months or so to obviously put the houses on the market and then sell them off and settle them as well. So that's where the 18 months come from. So hopefully that makes sense. And so really that's basically it. So in this particular example, you put in $230,000 up front, you get $260,000 profit at the end of 18 months. So you can see it's a really profitable deal. That works out to, I think, around about 112% return on your money, which is relative to putting it on the bank, where you're going to get 1 or 2 or 3% return on your money. It's going to be a lot better investment for you. And so hopefully you can understand the power of investing in property, or actually doing a property development, and why you don't necessarily have to do it all yourself. And that's partly the reason I've set it up in such a way that you can actually go in. I can help you source the property, I can help you manage the subdivision, I can help you find the builder, I can help you sell the property off at the end. So really you can, sit back and then really leverage off all of my experience, all the learn from all of my mistakes, so you don't have to make the same mistakes as well. So hopefully that makes sense. If you want to find out more, put a comment in the comment box. I'd love to hear your feedback on what you think about it and whether you think it all seems to make sense, or maybe you don't think it makes sense and you want to know a little bit more. If you like what I had to say, put a like in the give me a like, that'd be really appreciated. Or if you know someone that's thinking about doing a development, click on the share button. I'm sure they'll find it really useful as well. So thanks guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link through to my Adelaide Development Sites Facebook group as well, and so you'll be able to go in there. That'll keep you up to date on any of the other new developments which are coming online. So got any other questions, give me a call, and thanks for the likes, and I look forward to talking to you again next time. Bye for now.